Yeah, thank you, everyone, and good evening, everyone. First, I want to say thank you to the organizing committee for giving me chance to talk in this platform. So now I can share. Why? Okay. Uh, Hope you guys able to see my slides.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So basically, today my plan for this webinar, first 30 minutes, I will present some of my works, and after that we move forward to the question and answer session regarding this talk, and after that we will have an interactive session. So if you guys want, we can do it for last 20 to 25 minutes. Okay, now I can start. Okay, so today my today's presentation was based on my strategies for developing antiviral against mosquito-borne RNA viruses. Before I going to start my study, I want to give you very brief about today's celebration. So it is a World Mosquito Day. So do you guys know why uh, we celebrate this day? So the reason is that the British physician Dr. Ronald Ross first discovered the female Anopheles mosquito transmit in malaria on 28th August in 1895, or there have like some conflict between 85 95 or 97. So from that day, I mean, actually he first identified on this particular day. So that's why we start celebrating this day. So as you know, I think you guys know that what is malaria. Malaria is a parasite. So but I am a virologist, so my interest was on about virus. So and I'm actually looking for these viruses which are transmitting through mosquito. So there are three families of viruses. Okay, just let me. Uh, mm, yeah. What is the no, I can't see. Okay, so there have mainly three family of viruses. The maximum uh, the maximum of the mosquito-borne viruses are belongs to these three family. The first family is the Flaviviridae, Tagoviridae, and Bunyaviridae. So from the Flaviviridae, the viruses are, I think you all know, you heard these names like the dengue virus, Japanese encephalitis virus, Zika virus, and yellow fever virus, West Nile viruses, and there have few more. And also in the group of tagoviruses, these are the chikungunya virus, EEV, that's the Eastern Unique Encephalitis viruses, that WEEV, that's the Western Unique Encephalitis viruses, VEEV, that's the Venezuela Unique Western Encephalitis viruses, and so on. And for the Bunia viruses, there have the California serogroup viruses like Lacrosse virus, Tahina virus, Jamestown Canyon virus, and Rift Valley fever viruses. These Bunia viruses are pretty rare in India, but you can see the maximum mosquito-borne RNA viruses are belonging from Flaviviridae and Tagoviridae, particularly in India. So, but the Bunia viridae, there have an interesting fact. The Bunia viridae is, you can find out throughout the world, but it is very regional specific. So I'll talk maybe some other day about this Bunia viruses. But now I'm going moving forward. So to control, actually, when we got infected through these viruses, what are the options for treatment to us? So when we go in literature search, I find out that there have only about 100 antiviral drugs are available in the market currently in the market. So of them, maximum are the used for treatment of herpes viruses, like more than 20. That is for herpes. That is maximum are the acyclovir and their derivatives. And next, the another 80% are belonging from the about 80% are the for HIV, hepatitis virus, influenza virus, and few like last couple of years, like 3 years, there have I think 4 or 5 drugs got approved for COVID-19. So interestingly, neither one drug is used for combating these these mosquito-borne RNA viruses virus infections. So that's why I'm interested to looking the antiviral for these viruses. And I already mentioned that my interest is the therapeutic intervention, and I'm actually working with these. Currently, I'm working with these viruses like the lactose virus, Jameson Canyon, Tahina, Casbell fevers. All 4 are the belonging from the Bunia viridae, and also I work with the Zika virus, which belongs to the Flaviridae I already mentioned, and also during the Corona time, I also did some work with the Corona. So what is now my next question is that what is my strategy for developing drugs? So I worked mainly 4 different projects during my postdoctoral time. So my first belonging from 3 different strategies. My first strategy was drug repurposing or repositioning. So in this project, I mainly work with 2 different projects. One is the screening of existing drug libraries, and another one is the examining approved mutagenic compound-based antiviral. My next strategy was characterizing organelle-based therapeutic targets. So from this strategy, I find out that the estrase pathway have important role in Zika infection. And my last strategy was validating traditionally used medicinal plant. Actually, I utilized this strategy to for screening drugs against coronaviruses. So today, I will be talk about the existing screening drug library, this project, and the examining approved mutagenic compound-based antiviral, because all of you guys are all are budding pharmacists. So I think these 2 projects will fit better with compared to other projects. And also the last project might be fit, but it is totally on different. It is not a mosquito-borne virus. That's why I omit the last one. So mainly I will talk about first these 2 projects. So now coming my first project. The entitle of my project is identifying antiviral against lactose viruses. So now first question is that what is this lactose virus? So lactose virus, I already mentioned that it is a California cerebral mosquito-borne arboviruses, and which belongs to the family of Peribunia viridae. So it is a envelope virus. It's contain tri-segmented RNA as genetic material, and interestingly, it is the major cause of pediatric encephalitis in the United States. So this virus can only infect the age of 16 children under the age of 16 years old. So to overcome this situation, currently we don't have any approved vaccine, and the current treatment is palliative care, not a treatment for the disease. So in this situation, we have screened more than 3,800 drugs with help of National Center for Advancing Translation Science. So now the question is that how we screen this more than 3,000 drugs. So what we did, we take a 396 well plate. As all of you guys know, I think that for growing virus, we need a host cell. Without a host cell, we can't grow the viruses. So for that, we use that SHSY5Y cells. That is a mouse neuroblastoma cell line. Why we use it? Because these viruses cause the encephalitic disease. That's why we try to develop the drug on that particular neuronal cells. So, okay, I come to the study. So first we take 396 well plate, then we seed the cells on top of it. After that, we add the drug, and subsequently we add the viruses. And after 6 days, we check that how much cells were surviving. That means if there have some cells is survives, that means the drug is working against that viruses, and that's why the cells are surviving there. So from our first screening, we find out 38 drugs showed some effect. Then we revalidate these 32 drugs using the same protocol, and finally we find out 10 drugs showed some effect. Then we choose top 3 drugs and tested on different mouse and human neuronal cell line. So then we find out one drug, which is called rotlerin, showed promising effect on all these cell lines. So then we choose this drug and more actually tested on other models, other cell types and other models, as well as other models like organoid model and animal model. So when we study them on different cell lines, we find out the EC50 range was between 0.16 to 38 microgram per ml in multiple neuronal cell line. So here I use the EC50. What is this terminology? So EC50 it's a 50% inhibitory concentration. So that's we didn't actually effective concentration, not inhibitory. That's called effective 50% effective concentration. So okay, now the question is that what is this rotlerin? So rotlerin is a polyphenol isolated from Asianthemalotus philippiensis, and people are using this drug, this small molecule, as protein kinase delta inhibitor, and people are first using this drug for the treatment of cancer. It is actually for the cancer treatment. It is, I think, in phase 2 clinical trial right now, this drug. Okay, so now the question is that how does it affect lactose-induced neuronal cell death? To answer this question, first we did a indirect immunofluorescence assay. So what we did, as we did before, like first we grow the cell infected with the virus. After that, we treated with the drug. So this one is the control cell, uninfected, untreated control, and this one is the infected, untreated control, and this is the infected and treated group. So from this study, we find out that the in cell control, which is identified CC, that means the cell control which have no infection and no drug, they have like all cells are looks fine. But in infection control, you can see there have lots of magenta with every and all the cyan's are the nuclei. So you can see almost all nuclei are infected, is closely infected with the cyan. That means all cells are infected with the viruses. And in treatment, you can see only a few cells are infected. When we quantify this, we find out that the more than 80% cells are infected in DMSO-treated control, that is the infected untreated control. And in treatment group, we have seen less than 20% cells are infected. So then the next question is that does rotlerin inhibit virus production? To answer these questions, we just do the same experiment. The only change is that we just harvest the cell supernatant and check the virus titer, like number of virus present in the cell supernatant in treatment and without treatment. So here, when we check on different neuronal cell line, we find out that almost in all cells, there have about a 3 log difference between the DMSO. These are the DMSO-treated control, and these are the treatment. So they have about 3 log difference. So from this study, we can say that the rotlerin treatment reduces virus production in supernatant by up to 3 log, suggesting that the rotlerin inhibits virus replication. So now the question is that how rotlerin inhibit virus replication? To know that, first we did an initial time of addition assay. So from this assay, what we did, first we take the cell. Actually, first we divided all this time point in 4 phases. The first phase is pre-infection, co-infection, post-infection, and throughout infection. So what that means? The pre-infection, that means we treated the drug before infection. First we grow the cell, then immediately we treated with the drug, and before infection we remove the drug, and then we infect with the virus. And for the co-infection, what we did, first we grow the cell, infect the virus, as well as we treated with the drug. Then after 2 hours, we remove the drug as well as the virus. Then we keep it for 48 hours, and then we go for the to check the virus percentage of cell death, percentage of cell viable cell. And for the post-infection, from the name you can assume that for 2 hours of infection, after that we start treatment with the drug. And for the throughout, all 3 time point together. in throughout infection. From this study, we find out that the post-infection and throughout infection showed very promising effect. So from this study, we can say that the rotulin exerts its inhibitory effect during post-infection, and also we can say that the drug have no effect on virus attachment or inactivation. So then we divided this post time frame in different phases, like 2 hour, 4 hour, 6 hour, 8 hour, 12 hour. What we did, first we grew the cell infected with the virus, then we remove the cell supernatant. After that, we add the drug at 2 hour, after 2 hour post infection, after 4 hour post infection, 6 hour, 8 hour, and 12 hour. So after that, we keep it for 24 hour to check the virus count in cell supernatant, and also we check the percentage of viable cell after 48 hours. Here we find out that all the time point showed promising effect in both cases, but there have a slightly drop off between 8 hour and 12 hour post infection in both cases. You can see here there have a slightly drop off between that 8 hour and 12 hour, and here also you can see. So from this study, we can say that the rotulin can inhibit even up to 12 hour post infection, and the drug is effective, most promisingly effective up to 8 hour post infection. So then we did a viral kinetic study where we have seen that for the one cycle of virus replication, it takes about 8 to 10 hour time point. So that's interestingly, and the drug is working up to 8 hour. So that means drug is working maybe on late time frame on the virus replication cycle. That means it is virus assembly or virus release. So then we go to the virus replication cycle. We find out that the virus assembly was happen inside the Golgi, and virus release was goes through by help of the Golgi. So that's why next we targeted Golgi. Okay, now the question is that does rotulin affect virus assembly or release in the Golgi? To know that, first we did exactly the same experiment as before. First we grow the cell infected with the virus. After 8 hours, here only the change is that we start treatment at 8 hours here. So 8 hours we go we start treatment with the drug, and after 24 hours we go for the confocal analysis. Here you can see all the purple are the virus and all yellow is the Golgi, and cyan is the nuclei. So this is the untreated virus infected and untreated control. Here you can see the maximum signal outside of the cell. Only a few signal outside of the Golgi, but only a few signal inside the Golgi. But in case of treatment, you can see the maximum signal are inside in the Golgi. So from this study, we can say that drug might be inhibit virus release from the Golgi. So to confirm that, we did a TEM analysis. So exactly the same experiment was exactly same as before, like start treatment at 8 hours, and after 24 hours we go for TEM analysis. The TEM is a transmission electron microscopy. So here this top two figure for the infected and untreated control. So here we've seen the lots of virus we have find out outside the cell, and only a few virus we find out inside the cell. But interestingly, which is in a tightly packed vesicle, and which we're unable to find out any virus close to the Golgi in the control group. But in treatment group, we have seen the maximum viruses we find out close to the Golgi, and also we have seen there have more than one viruses here you can see in a tightly packed vesicle, but it is it's a big vesicle, but there have more than one viruses present there. So from this study, we can say that the rotulin inhibit virus release from the Golgi. Now we test this drug on cerebral organoid model. So what is the cerebral now the next question is that what is this cerebral organoid? Basically, we call it's a in vitro mini brain. Actually, basically, we made this brain in the lab, mini brain in this lab. So what is that brain? So that is actually iPSC. That's the pluripotent stem cell we derived in presence of different type of differentiating medium. And after like 3-4 weeks, we see a small brain, like very small brain. You can see in your open eyes. So that we use to study in vitro, to study before we go to the animal model. So here, first we check the cell viability using the Plaistow-Blue assay. So what we did for this experiment, first we grow that organoid, like we take like 4 weeks old organoid and infected with the lactose virus, and after 24 hours, we add the drug, and every 24 hours we go for Plaistow-Blue assay to see the cell viability, and also we harvest the cell supernatant to see the number of virus present in the cell supernatant. So here you can see there have about a 30% reduction in cell survival, and also you can see there have about a 2 log reduction in virus titer in the cell supernatant. And when we go and check through the confocal microscopy, so this is the untreated uninfected control. This is the treated uninfected control, and this is the infected untreated control, and this is the infected and treated control. So here you can see that the maximum cells are infected, and here all these magenta are the virus, and yellow is the dead cells. So here you can see a few dead cells also present here. But in treatment group, you can see only if a portion of the organoid is infected, and rest of the place is there have no infection and there have no cell death. Then we check this drug in mouse model. So what we take 3 weeks old B6 background mice. And why we get 3 weeks old? Because this is a really good model for this lactose virus. So that actually mimics the disease, because it causes disease in children, and 3 weeks old, that means it's a weanling mice. That's also kind of child mice actually. So we infect this mouse with lactose virus through IP route, and after that, at 3 DPI, 3 days post-infection, we start treatment with the rotulin up to 10 days. And we observe these mice for 26 to 28 days. So here we have the next question is that why we choose that 3 days post-infection time point? Because we infecting these viruses in IP, but it causes the encephalitic disease. But we find out, our lab is previously established that it takes three days to reach in the brain. That's why we choose this time point. So when we check when we go through the result, we have seen there have about a 30% difference between the deomycin-treated control and rotulin treatment. Then after that, we check the virus titer in the brain. So experiment are exactly same. Just we harvest the mouse brain on day 5 and day 8 time point, and then we check the virus titer by 2 different methods using qPCR and also by plug assay. In day 5, in both cases, you can see there have some reduction, but which is not significant. But we have seen there have a significant reduction in day 8 time point. So also we did the immunohistochemistry of this mouse brain. So here, this is the deomycin-treated control, infected and deomycin-treated control. You can see that throughout the brain is infected with the viruses. But in rotulin treatment, you can see there have the patchy appearance. Only like this region is infected, this region is infected, but not throughout the brain is infected. So now I come to the conclusion of my first part. So rotulin had strong potential, over 80% inhibition of last course infection. So the mechanistic study showed that rotulin inhibit virus release from the Golgi, and rotulin treatment reduces cell death and virus titer by 2 logs in organoid model, and also the inoculation of rotulin in IP inhibits lactose virus induced neurological disease by 30%. And now the next question is that, does rotulin have similar effect on other RNA viruses? So then we have checked like other orthogonia viruses, that is the Tahaina and gemstone kinome virus. We have seen the same thing, and also we check against the Zika virus. We have seen the same thing, like about 2 log reduction. Against when we check with the coronaviruses, we have seen 3 to 4 log reduction against the coronaviruses. So now I come to my next project, the examining approved mutagenic nucleoside analog as antiviral. So the first question is that, what are the mutagenic nucleoside analog? So the nucleoside analog are structurally similar with the normal ribonucleosides. They have ability to pair ambiguously, and they increase G2A and C2U transition mutation frequency, and which induce the lethal mutagenesis in the virus. Then what is this lethal mutagenesis? That's the when we induce, actually when we expose with this mutagenic compound, it induces, actually it's mismatching this nucleotide with mismatching with other bases. So then there have a the replication was going to stop, and that's why it's increasing the mutated virus, which is actually less infective. So that's the idea. So currently in the market, there have 3 nucleoside analog. That is, one is the ribavirin, flavipiravir, and molnupiravir. The ribavirin is currently used for treating hepatitis B as well as some influenza, and flavipiravir is used for treating influenza, mainly influenza. So we did a comparison study between them. So okay, so why we get this idea? So this is the first paper, a PNS paper. They in 19th century they get with this idea. What the idea is, so if this is the normal virus population, when we grow the viruses, first it's grow like that way, and here is the normal population, and the black portion is the mutated population, because every time virus is try to evolve, always there have a mutation going on. So when they are making a infective virus, they also making some mutagenic viruses. So these are the mutagenic virus. And when we induce with some amount of this mutagenic compound, so there the normal viruses should be this, and all are the mutagenic viruses. So that means the infectivity is going to be less. That's the idea. So now I come to about these 3 drugs. So this is the first. This is the ribavirin. This is the structure of ribavirin. So this is the normal base pair, and this is the weird base. That base, but actually this region have to probably to move and make a base pair between like other ribose. And this is the structure of flavipiravir. It is actually when we use only the weird base here. When it goes into the body, so it actually goes like this structure. And this is our targeted that's the NHC, that's N4-hydroxycytidine. So what is this? This is exactly the same structure as cystidine, only the change was there have a extra wedge group at here. And when we consume it, when we reach into the body, it gets formed like this. This is the oral bioavailable form. So this is actually I'm just showing some normal base pairing here. This is the cystidine and guanosine. And also here is the uridine and adenosine here. And this is the base pairing between NHC and guanosine, also NHC with adenosine. See, they have ability to base pair with both the adenine and guanosine. So first we did a comparison study between ribavirin, flavipiravir, and NHC. Here we find out that we check actually 4 or 5 different cell types, but I'm presenting here only 2. The one is the N2A cell, and another one is the HNSC. That's N2 is the mouse neuronal cell, and NHC is the human neuronal cell. So here we find out that the ribavirin and flavipiravir reduce about like 4 log reduction in N2A, but in NHC the ribavirin showed like 3 log, and for NHC it is 4 log, but in flavipiravir there have like 2 N2A cell, but in about a half log so the EC50 was like for ribavirin it is 4.8, and whereas the NHC2 is 1.5. And for ribavirin against NHC it was 27.7, but for NHC it is 1.2. When we make a comparison between them, so we find out that the NHC is 300 to 300-fold more active than ribavirin and flavipiravir. So that's why the next study we did only with the NHC. So then what we did, we directly check on, because it is already approved drug, so that's why we don't want to go like check much on the in vitro. We directly go in the animal model. So here we just take the same model, like 3-week-old mice infected with the lactose virus. Then we start treatment with the drug at 0 dpi as well as at 3 dpi up to 10 days, and we keep it for 26 days. And here you can see the molnupiravir treatment showed like about 30% inhibition here. And for the 3 dpi, it is about 17%. Then we check the same thing, check the virus titer in the brain. We have seen the same thing. Actually, we did, for this time, we did only 5 dpi. So here we seen we check actually the virus titer in the brain as well as in the lymph node. So we find out both cases there have a significant difference with compared to vehicle as well as the molnupiravir treatment. So after that, interestingly, when we go titrate this virus, we have seen here in the vehicle treatment, the plaque size are almost similar. But in molnupiravir treatment, we have seen there have the some plaques are same as the control group, but maximum of the plaques are different in size. So that means this is the kind of, then we thought this is the direct proof of this, the previously described model. And after that, we did the sequence of these viruses, like the viruses isolated from the brain. So we have seen there have a significant difference between C to T mutation in these viruses with compared to. So these are the Rotland treatment, and these are the vehicle control. So you can see that there have a significant difference. And also we see a G2A mutation, there have also a significant difference. So this is actually from two regions. L7, this is from the this is the large segment of that I previously shown that the lactose virus have 3 segments. So L segments from the large segment, and M segment is the medium segment. So we've seen in both cases there have a significant difference in C2T and G2A mutations. So now I come to the conclusion of this study. So molnupiravir is 3 to 300-fold more active than ribavirin or favipiravir. So it's inhibit lactose-induced nasal disease in mice by 32% and increase C2U mutation in NSC treatment compared to vehicle control in lactose virus. So that's correlates with the loss of infectivity. So that is the lateral mutagenesis. So now I come to the end of my project. So here is my final research outcome. So during my 6-year time period, what I have what is the milestone? So the first milestone is that I find out a drug which is called Rotland, which significantly inhibit lactose infection, as well as another one is the molnupiravir. Interestingly, we are very close to do the clinical trial for molnupiravir. I think whenever I will go back, we will start. Already we are in process to do the clinical trial for this. And also I have identified, actually I'm not go through this project, but I'm just mentioning that I find out a SARCA dependent ER stress pathway, which is important for antiviral target against Zika virus. Also, when I try to validate traditional use medicine, the Rotland, lycorin, and tubulinic acid inhibits coronavirus infections. So at last, I want to thank my PI, she is the Karin, and also my other lab mates and all my collaborators in the NIH and NCATS and UNC, that's the UNC Chapel Hill. And at the end, I will say thank you for listening me, and I'm happy to take questions. Okay. stop sharing and just came to the. Hey guys.
So, does anyone have any questions? We have received one question from Mitali Dhar, and she's asked that the retroviral drugs like lamivudine and cytarabine that are used against HIV and
Mhm.
HPV in some cases, how effective would they be in bunyavirus infections?
So actually, there have few study already going on that aspects. But I already actually did some. I actually screened some more drugs against this with these drugs against this lactose virus. So I not find out much difference. There have only about like less than a log difference. So if it is not more than 2 logs, I'm not got interested on that. So that's why. But yeah, but there have some chances of having antiviral effect. Like I'm really interested to see to check what is this recent drug Gilead, yeah, remdesivir. Actually, I want to really interested to see the remdesivir, but I don't have that. I'm not able to collect that drug, so that's why I'm not able to tested it. But yeah, very nice questions. That yeah, I already checked few drugs. It is not working at all against lactose virus.
So another question we have received is that how good would traditional medicine now be, that we are now exploring traditional medicine for a lot of diseases like
Mhm.
artemisinin for malaria. And
Mhm.
so what is the future of traditional medicine and antiviral treatment?
Yeah, I think like for example of this rotuline, this is also a plant derived secondary metabolites. So there have a huge chance of get approved, but it will take time because people are actually traditional medicine is when if you actually if you treating, there have 2 3 things. First is that the when we use the traditional medicine, normally we use extract or something like some formulation. But people are actually maximum people are not interested on this kind of formulation or extract. So they always try to find out a single drug. So that's why for traditional medicine, maximum whatever in my knowledge, I actually did work uh, in my earlier career, like when I'm doing my PhD and during my PhD time and in ICMA virus time, I did all this traditional medicine work. But no one cares if it is a extract. But if it is a single molecule, then everybody is care. So that's the first concern about the traditional medicine. The second question is that there have like lots of reports when it's showing that the traditional medicine have some effect, but when it's tested in different lab, there have it's there have like something wrong or something is happening, it's not working at all. So this kind of problem was there. So I think it will be like the near future traditional medicine will be a, that's why I actually for the COVID, that's why I go on that direction, because in my perspectives, so traditional medicine will be our future. And also like the other drugs also coming in, like all the antibody treatment and like interferon, and also like mRNA based treatment, these are also like they are coming like very very fast. So that is the another concern, like might be traditional medicine will not gone fit on that speed.
Thank you for the answer. So I have a question now.
Yeah.
So my question is that, so you mentioned about antibodies and like biotech recombinant based products. So wh- how, like I would say, won't it be a difficult task using like recombinant drugs, because viruses are very host based organisms? So is it a longer journey for recombinant drugs, or is it longer journey? Is it as short as any other pharmacological, like any other API?
So yeah, it is actually the thing is that for the antibody drug, there have Like if you go with this traditional drug, it can be used for other viruses too. But for antibody drug, they are like kind of very, very specific. Okay, so is that your questions? Kind of on that?
Yes, yes, sir, yes, sir. It's regarding that because the drugs we have had for a time, they are very broad spectrum in their action, but
Yeah,
these
that's
RTT drugs are very specific.
yes. All the, if you seen all the, like for example, ribavirin currently nowadays, people are using it in almost everywhere, and also like for this remdesivir, it is already gone approved for first it is gone approved for hepatitis, then now it is got approved for Nipah, and also the lots of studies is going on, also approved for COVID. It is gone approved fast, I think, for the COVID. So there have like the lots of if you go on the traditional drugs, it's have ability to inhibit multiple viruses. But when you go for the for this antibody treatment, it is very specific, and also it is like it would be a very, very costly. There have like few drugs which are like really costly for like for India. For like our country, it is really hard to deal with this kind of this advanced drugs.
Thank you
We
for
have
the
to
answer,
think
sir.
of, yeah.
Yeah. So, does anyone have any other questions for sir?
Okay. Or do you want to go forward with an interactive session, or just done with this at here?
So we can ask everyone if they are
Yeah, if they have
interested.
any kind of questions, like for your, what is your like kind of future goal or something, if you need to ask anything about you are thinking to go to the abroad or something, my suggestion is that if anyone interested in research, so I will highly recommend at least go for 2 to 3 years to either US or Europe, and go see how people work there. It is totally different from here. I know we have to, if you guys want to stay in India, so then you have to accommodate in these facilities. But my suggestion is that at least if you want to do research, then you should focus at least for a few years, spend some time in outside of India.
So I had a question regarding this.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
what you mentioned. So you worked at the NIAID, right? National Infectious Diseases.
Hmm.
So that is where Dr. Fauci, Anthony Fauci, was the director there, right?
Yes,
If I remember correctly.
yes.
So is it a very is like what is the major aspect that they are focusing on at NIAID? Is there that they're specifically working on one disease, or is it a very like everyone is doing their own thing there?
No, not, right now the current trend, the last 1 year trend is that the future pandemics. So they are getting prepared for the future pandemics. They are like for the, actually they have like huge fund currently. They have huge fund for the Bunia viruses. So that's the good news. And also they are not only the Bunia viruses. They are US government is burning like so much money on different viruses, because you see all the drugs which is approved for the COVID, not a single one is initially studied for the COVID. All are the initially it's developed for different purposes. Now when the COVID situation comes, that everyone push whatever they have in the system, in the COVID system, then they come to a immediately by 3 year. It's like it's amazing. By 3 year, they have like 5 drugs in the market. It is not that easy, because all these drugs are already been studied for a long time. Because I think all of you know that to develop one drug, it takes at least a 10-year time. So how the COVID drugs came like within 6 or 10 months. So that's the reason, because all these drugs are already well studied drug. So that's why they are like investing so much money for the future pandemic preparedness.
So would that ever be a reality in a country like India where the government is investing money into research on like diseases, like how the NIH burns money?
So
Would
see,
that be a reality?
yeah, during my PhD, I have total in my during my PhD, and I say actually I got my PhD from Jadavpur University, but I did the maximum of the work on ICMR virus unit, my PhD work. So because that's the there I did work there on herpes simplex virus. Actually, that's also actually I use the traditional medicine to treat herpes disease during my PhD. So there have during my six I spent about like 6 years time there in ICMR virus unit. Our lab is, I would not say it's like very well funded lab, but there have it's a nice funded lab that time. So still during that time I have only about 6 or 7 antibody I purchased during my 6 years time, and I tested. And for the drug I purchased about like maximum how much 10-15. But in my during my postdoctoral time I spent uh, actually when I leave the lab, when I like finally I hand over my everything to my PI. So that time a box of antibody about like 80 antibody was there on that box. So that is the fun to do work at the NIH. And also like whatever instrument you need, everything was there. What expertise you need, everything was there. That's the interesting thing. You can ask anyone for any help regarding research. But here is this is the another problem at here. Like everyone, no one is interested what his colleague is doing, but there is everyone is interested on what everybody is doing. Here is no one is interested on that. So that's the another problem I think here. But still I would say the idea are always be great at here. So that's why we are like still people are doing good research at here, because it's only because of the good idea.
Thank you so much for that answer, sir. So the floor is still open to anyone if they're interested to ask, like they want to ask any questions to sir.
Yeah, just unmute yourself, and if you have any question regarding today's talk or today's topic or different topic about the virology or for your future thing, you can ask me. And also if you need any kind of help, so just send me an email or just LinkedIn me. I think that's the good place to chat. Okay.
I guess it'll take time for everyone to assimilate the information that we received today. So I hope if anyone has any questions, they can, of course, directly contact sir. And if it's all right by you, sir, we can call it a day today and end the webinar right end the webinar if it's fine by you.
Okay. I think is there have any questions or we should quit?
I think, sir, it'll take time for them to assimilate everything they've heard today, and maybe they'll
Okay,
have some questions down the line. So we think
okay,
we
okay, no
should
problem, no problem.
call
Take
it
your
a
time.
day here.
Yeah, no problem.
We
Take
can
your
call
time.
it a day here. We're hoping. I think we should call it a day here and
Oh,
end
okay,
the
okay.
webinar. Thank you so much for joining us, sir, and for your valuable insight. I don't think anyone else would have been a better speaker on a topic like this, and it was an honor learning from you and like understanding how what is going on in the field of mosquito-borne viral diseases. Thank you so much for your time again, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye, sir. Thank you.